Hi guys, welcome back to Heal with Leah. I'm Leah, and today we're going to be getting into some juicy stuff, okay? So we're going to be talking about why body image work is so incredibly important. And before we get into things, I'd like to just have a little disclaimer. Again, I am not a licensed practitioner. I am not a medical health professional. I am not an eating disorder recovery coach. I'm not a registered dietitian or a nutritionist or anything, or a therapist or anything like that. So I'm just a person who has survived an eating disorder and is maintaining recovery. I think everyone can benefit from body image work because it's so prevalent in our lives today. Like, we've all been brainwashed by diet culture and made to believe that being fat equals bad, right? Society deems weight gain as basically the worst thing that could happen to you and praises you for losing weight just unconditionally. Like, it doesn't matter how you lost the weight, you're going to be praised for the most part. However, no amount of weight loss can heal a broken relationship with your body, and I had to learn that the hard way, because for a while I thought that if I lost weight and I just got to my goal weight and stopped binging, that I'd be fine and all my problems would go away. But normally the issues run a lot deeper than that. So we have to look at the bigger picture here, right? We want the world to be safe for all bodies, not just thin white ones, which are the ideal. The picture perfect person, right, is thin, white, able-bodied, cis, straight, not mentally ill. And we know that diet culture is inherently rooted in racism and sexism. So we want to dismantle that body hierarchy so that we can make sure there's no ideal and all bodies are accepted, all bodies are safe. So it's important to work on body image in general, healing, because we don't want to pass a negative relationship with our body onto others, right? Like, even if you're not planning on having kids, people that you're around with who are younger generations, such as cousins or niece and nephew, or just if you're a teacher, if you are working with kids in any capacity, or if you're around kids in any capacity, we want to hopefully be a role model for them. Like, at least I would like to be a role model for my kids one day and show them how to have a positive relationship with their body, with food, and with movement, so that they can, feel free to express themselves however they want to, and also be accepted no matter what they look like, no matter what size they are, no matter what their background is, no matter what. I am very lucky to have grown up in a family where there wasn't a lot of, bashing on larger bodies, but there still was some. But I was also fortunate to come from a family with a mom who had a positive relationship with her body and tried to pass that on to me as well. If you listen to the last video on my eating disorder story, I explain a lot of my family background in that, if you're wondering. But it's important. It's so important to not blame other people, especially our parents or our caregivers, for passing on that negative relationship to us, because it's not their fault, right? We've all been subject to brainwashing by diet culture. Like, not everyone's going to be ready to accept that diet culture is wrong, right? So we have to be looking at the bigger picture, not blaming our parents, not shaming people who are still stuck in diet culture, but shifting our focus and our anger, which I'm going to get to in a minute, toward society at large. Also, I want to mention that if you're in a straight size body and you think that this doesn't pertain to you, it does. Even if you have a positive relationship with your body right now, would you, if you were to gain 50 pounds? How would you react? Because in order to have all bodies be safe and accepted, we need to have the largest bodies be accepted. And then once they're accepted, then everyone is free to live their life how they want to. and free to gain weight without being fat shamed, right? Because going back to if you're in a straight size body, what would you do if you were to gain weight and everyone else around you was like, what are you doing? Like, what happened? Like, are you trying to lose weight? Like, what's wrong? Like, you see what I mean? The culture is designed to question our bodies and make our bodies the problem, even though they're not. Diets are the problem. So, and I'll have a dissecting diet culture video coming soon. I think that would be important to expose all of the diet culture lies that society tries to push on us. So another issue that I've come across with myself and then with other people too is that we want other people to be accepting of their bodies and feel safe in their bodies, but we don't think we deserve it ourselves. And this is kind of where you have to tap into your inner rebel. Like, I know a lot of times people don't have an inner rebel, but if you can tap into it and just really understand that diet culture and the rules that it has set for us are not rules that we want to follow. We can choose how to define healing and health in our own language. And we don't have to follow the same rules as diet culture and our parents possibly have grown up telling us, right? So if it's in there, even just a little bit, everyone's going to rebel in a different way. But even if you just decide to eat something that your eating disorder voice says, no, don't eat it, that's rebelling. You're rebelling. It also helped me tremendously to tap into some anger. And I've had issues with anger in my past, just not like anger issues, but like issues with feeling my anger. Like I was trying to make it seem like I never got angry, and that ultimately led me to believe that anger was bad, and it's not. It really isn't. Anger can be a tremendously helpful feeling and emotion. So there's so much to be angry at, right? Angry at society for keeping us small, literally and figuratively, right? Literally in the sense that we're actually in smaller bodies, but figuratively in the sense that point of diet culture has been to keep women small and keep them from reaching their full potential and living their fullest lives because they want to keep us obedient, right? And I'll explain that a little bit more in a minute. We can also get angry at society for all the time we've wasted thinking about our food and our bodies and movement and being hyper-focused on what we look like. I don't know about you, but there have been several opportunities that I've missed because of my fear of showing my body, and also like being stuck trying to diet when I'm in Europe. Where all the good food is, and completely missing out on those opportunities to connect to other people and build relationships with other people. So it's really a life thief in a lot of ways. Shout out Christy Harrison. I think that is, diet culture is a life thief. It totally is. And so we can get angry, not at ourselves, right? Not at ourselves for being subject to this brainwashing, but at society, because society and diet culture are the ones to blame. And we can get angry for them trying to sell us so many different products, so many different diets, so many different programs like Noom or Weight Watchers or whatever, trying to get us to support capitalism. They tell you that your body's the problem, you're the problem, not the diets themselves, even though they're not working for you. It's not the diet's problem, it's you, right? Yeah, there's a lot to be angry at, and it's not right that diet culture started as a way to keep women obedient. And before, they tried to keep us obedient by focusing on motherhood and religion, and that also oppressed us as well. But once women won the right to vote in the 1920s, diet culture really solidified itself and said that if women were thin, they were free, right? Which is just so stupid. So fad diet after fad diet and body trend after body trend were all the rage in the 20th century and even as far into the 19th century as well. So once we are able to see this and be like, oh my God, they literally are trying to keep us small so we don't stand up for what is ours, and we don't like get too loud, and we don't try to, take down the patriarchy or anything like that. But once we're able to see that diet culture did this, you can get pretty angry. I'm pretty angry right now talking about it, and I think it's good to channel that anger into doing things that are rebelling against the culture, right? Working on building a new relationship with your body that is neutral. Working on, forming a positive relationship with exercise and with movement, and enjoying movement, and instead of having it be a punishment. Other ways to rebel, like even small ways of like talking to other people and asking them not to talk about your body. That can be a way of rebelling too. Setting boundaries. Reading books that are counterculture, right? Like my favorite book so far has been Reclaiming Body Trust, and I'm going to have a whole deep dive on that book in the future as well. So stay tuned for that. It's an incredible book, and it gives a lot of examples of how you can rebel against diet culture. I also want to mention that, of course, diet culture affects all people of all ages, all genders, all body types, that it is specifically targeted, and it was targeted toward women in the beginning. That's why I'm focusing so much time on that. But we'll also go into more of how diet culture is racist and rooted in racism as well. We can talk about that too. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Let me know if you want to continue the conversation in the comments. If you have any other points to bring up about how diet culture is a life thief, if you want to tell your story, or if you want to, suggest videos, or if you have questions or anything like that, I'd love to hear them. Again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great day. I'm trying to figure out like a little sign off to do if you guys have any suggestions for me. But right now I'm just gonna stick with thanks. See you guys later. Bye.